Hey, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is PoppinCulture Movie Reviews. My guest today is comedian and yoga instructor Kelby T. Thank you so much for coming on to the movie review.
Thank you for having me, man.
No problem. The movie that we'll be reviewing is Starship Troopers. Shelby chose the movie. Before we get into it, this will be a 100% spoiler review. But before we spoil the movie, Kelby, do you think they should watch it?
Absolutely. Don't watch the second, third, or fourth. Just the first one. Okay. Let's make that clear.
Yes, I totally agree with that. All right, guys, I agree with him. You should definitely watch this one, not the other ones. Everything past this point will be 100% spoilers. Shelby, you chose the movie. I'll let you kick it off.
All righty. Well, this movie, um, I think it came out when I was young, like 7 or 8. And before I even got boners, it gave me like a figurative boner. It just opens up. And I like sci fi a lot. You a big fan of sci fi?
Of course.
I think they done it just so well, you know. And the way, the movie starts out, it follows the three people, like Neil Patrick Harris is in it, and the chick that married Charlie Sheen, I can't remember her name,
Yeah.
Carmen.
Yep.
And there was this guy, Johnny Rico, Johnny Rico, and they were like in college. And I thought it was so funny is because they had this thing, this portal in college where they could look at each other's test scores, and like NPH put Johnny Rico's test scores and like fucking shit on him in front of everybody.
Yeah. This is
But
this was literally I saw it when I was younger. I saw it yesterday for the movie review. And I don't remember enjoying it as much as I did yesterday. I was like, this is actually it's like good bad. It's not a great movie at all. I'm not saying that, but I enjoyed it all the way through. Like it was parts in the movie where I wasn't sure if it was meant to be funny, but I still laughed, which was not a bad thing. Plus, I had never seen the bully from Back to the Future and anything else besides Back to the Future.
yeah.
So it was
Which one was he? I hadn't seen Back to the Future in a while.
the bully, the guy that was always like picking on McFly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got me on that one. I'm not a big 80s movie dude, but
Okay, yeah. But
yeah.
he's in the movie. I was just like, look at him, man. This is good to see that he was still getting a little bit of work before, he stopped getting work.
Yeah.
Um so when it came to I would start with the soundtrack. What did you think about the soundtrack?
Oh, bruh. Let me tell you. Do you remember that scene where they're at the prom?
Yep.
Watch the days go by. All is well. Like that was, I mean, that little hook. Cause back in when you would watch, VHS back in the day, that little hook would just stick with you, like
Yep.
a commercial. I love the soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the tone and the theme were very Star Trek-ish, but not too much where they were copying anything. Everything was placed at the appropriate time. That's one thing I would give the movie.
Hmm.
Um when it came to CGI, how'd you feel about the CGI?
I actually didn't mind the CGI. I thought it was pretty good. Like the six-legged or eight-legged walkers, and even the, for lack of a better terminology, the big pocket pussy
Yeah.
at the end.
Yes.
I liked it. Um,
Best way to put it. Yes.
you know,
Yes.
it was good.
Yes. I like that. Like I said, I like the lasers because, of course, at that time they couldn't make them real, but they did like the best they could to just like not explain it. It was just like, yep, we have lasers and that's how they look. Like, eh,
Yeah, when they
yeah,
were doing the training,
yeah,
in the boot camp, and they would shoot them and shock them and stuff like that. That seems pretty cool.
yes,
Because when we did training in the army, we would do these rounds that would keep the bolt open. It would be red dots.
okay,
So like you would shoot them, and it would hit them with like a little. It would actually hit them with a bullet that had paint on it. And then so people could be like airsoft. I didn't get hit, but if you shot them with that, they were like having a fucking seizure.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um, of course, it's like not a serious movie, but like, did you see any comparisons to when you were in the military?
I did mobile infantry because I started out as infantry before I became a nurse. Infantry is you're just a frontline guy. You're just a shooter. That's all you do. You get trained how to use a weapon system, and you kill and you communicate,
Is
and
it
that's
true
it.
they? I'm sorry. Is it true they call you guys bullet dodgers?
Bullet sponges, I would say.
Oh shit.
I mean, that's what you are. You're like those frontline guys. But when they went to the training, the remember the guy that threw the knife in somebody's hand?
Mm-hmm.
Now that shit would not be approved by TRADOC Training Command, you know.
Of course.
But the but the drill sergeants, they are assholes like that. I would have to say that was true. Um, the you can wash out, um, like if you kill somebody or something like that. Remember, you had the helmet malfunction,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't just quit. You can't just wash out and quit though. Like that was the thing with Uncle Sam's got you by the balls or the nipples, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. That scene when he gets back and it's like you told him to take the mask off. Uh, I think I would rather have just been the girl that got the leave. Like I feel like she had it easy in that situation. Like, yeah, let me just go. Don't like whip me in front of all these people.
That's how being a leader is in the army, or he was a squad leader, I would say, or even an officer. I tried to look at the rank structure, but you can see that if you know anything about the military, the rank structure was kind of weird. But the more responsibility they give you, the more they fucking punish you if you mess it up. You remember the whippings, you know,
Yes. Oh yeah,
lashings.
that came out of left field. I was like, who is this guy? They just like your job is to whip people. Like that's
Yeah, he took that shit real serious too, didn't he?
yeah. I was like, who interviews this guy and be like, this is what I want to do. Like
Yeah,
that.
I remember because the white dude was like the head instructor and the African American gentleman was the secondary instructor. And those two parts I seen like, well, speaking of the whippings, remember when he gave that thing? He's like, bite down, trust me, it helps.
Yes.
Yeah, that means that dude got whooped before.
Yeah.
But right when they first got there, there was this guy. He was talking junk or something. This would so not happen in the army. And he's like, "Go, give me 5 sprints." And he was like, "Get on his ass." And then he pulled out a billy club and he just started hitting him in the legs. He's like, "Go, go!" The assistant instructor.
It was one of those things when I saw it, I was just like, whoa, this is a left turn I didn't see coming. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How'd you feel about the scene where the guy is getting killed by the aliens, and instead of killing the alien, they kill him?
Um, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I know
he
what you're talking
said,
about.
and the guy literally says, "I wish you guys would do this. I would hope you guys would do the same for me."
I remember that guy. Yeah, because that guy was the leader of the Roughnecks, and he shot him with a sniper rifle
Mhm.
when the big ass mosquito got him or whatever. And you know, if you know about production and stuff like that, I wonder how many times they cut that scene. You know, when he's in the sand pit and he's like, "You know what to do."
Yes. Yes.
um, that shit will not happen in the real army. They would render aid.
Yeah, of course.
But
I think you would definitely kill the enemy before you kill your teammate, I
yeah,
guess.
but
Uh,
if you're in a sand trap with a bug that's eating you from the legs down, and you're like, "I'm gonna die, just go ahead and kill me anyway." I mean, it's kind of 50-50. I mean,
yeah, you can
that's a hard
definitely
decision.
true, yeah, because you can either you kill, you don't know if he wants to be Lieutenant Dan or not.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
have no legs, and now he's mad at you forever. Um, Now, I hopefully we both are kind of agreement on this topic, but what did you think of the dialogue?
The dialogue I thought was a good, serious tone of silly,
Yes.
you know, because do you remember the scene? Like, this is like, it's going to happen eventually because there's been a lot of changes in the military. The co ed showers.
Man, I felt like they just did that to show titties. Cause I didn't, cause I don't remember, like I wasn't looking for, dick, but I just remember being like, man, there's a lot of titties in here, but it's co-ed, but I was like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was really silly. And it's just like some people, when they're so serious, they just embody being serious, like the guy that's like, "You know what to do," the original leader of the Roughnecks. The dialogue, it was like, I just thought it was like it was so sci-fi. The way the movie is such a good standalone film of, cinema history. If you just view it as what it is, don't try to compare it to like Avatar or something like that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but the dialogue, I mean, the dialogue will get me so much because you remember it was like they were on a computer screen and they were flipping through scenes and it was like, would you like to know more? And then they had this scene of these kids like smashing bugs. And the guy was like, the only good bug is a dead bug.
And it was some of those scenes where I was like, how many times did they have to do takes? Because they had to be laughing, like, like they had to
The
laugh.
thing,
Isn't Go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, the thing that was so fearful of me about the dialogue, the one that stood out the most to me was the first assault. And they're hitting off the ships and mobile infantry's coming down and they're inside the little shaky thing and they're like, like the airborne equivalent. And there's this old guy, looks like a Walmart greeter. He's like 55. And he's like, remember your training and you will survive.
There's a lot of quote. This movie can be quoted for years.
I know.
Um, when it came to the pacing, how did you feel about the movie and the way it was paced?
I feel like it was a good pacing because it followed them from the time they were in high school. They were transitioning into another personality. They're adapting their ego. And then it went into the battle. And then it went into later on in the end to where it followed up on all the careers. And, Johnny Rico replaced the original leader of the Roughnecks. Carmen was the captain of the ship. And NPH was doing like the studies of like, shoot one of their legs off. It comes back, it reduces their combat effectiveness by like 13% or something like that.
Yes.
I really liked in this movie how it really took you and let you see everything. It let you see how they developed in high school, how they do their test, how they lived, everything. So I think it was a good flow.
Nice. And a storytelling aspect, are you happy that they didn't explain the aliens, or you wish they had explained it a little bit?
I'm glad they didn't explain the aliens because then I would be too worried about it. If you could see how they started out with Johnny Rico and Carmen and their little love affair, and then they tailored off of it um, towards the end. The aliens, it had a lot of mystique to them, like what I mean. They told the planet that it comes from, but there was a lot of mystique, like a big beetle that shoots lava out of its nose that melts people's arms off, you know, kind of gave it some sci-fi,
Yeah,
not too much explained.
I love the fact that they didn't explain. I think sometimes if you explain too much, then it becomes like, why do we want to know? If that makes sense. And I think this was a movie where we didn't need to know. Um,
Yeah.
um, so when the movie, did you enjoy the ending?
Um, I did enjoy the ending, but something kind of pissed me off. When they
Okay.
had the big pocket pussy at the end,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term, and they would shove like something and probe it or whatever, they would have like a pow
Mhm.
caption over it to censor it and stuff like that. I was kind of pissed off about that because they show like the pocket pussy sticking a sword in the guy's head and sucking his brains out, but they pop caption out them probing it. Um, I really think it really got my dick hard. That was one of the movies that made me join the fucking army, man. I can't even lie. Like the
Okay.
camaraderie of it. They're like, Johnny Rico's leading the Roughnecks and Carmen's the captain of the ship. And they're like, all right, bitches, let's go to battle. You
Nice.
know?
Nice. I can see that could won't make you want to join, because they did have like great teamwork. Um, yeah. Uh, that is, and I'm calling it pocket pussy from now on. That's it. That's it. I don't care if they be like, no, this is the real name. Like, no, it isn't. Uh,
Yeah.
cool. Uh,
I mean, I wouldn't stick my dick in it, but we can still call it a pocket pussy for lack
that's
of a better term.
exactly. You won't get that dick back. Did you feel like anybody was the weakest link when it came to the acting, or do you feel like everybody put up a great performance?
um, I feel like the weakest link was you remember the guy where he broke his arm
Hmm.
and he cut in line? I just feel like he was just a fucking douchebag. Like I still don't like that guy to this day. And it's, Um, it wasn't the guy they put the knife through the hand with the spike bangs. It was the other kind of chunky dude, you know, and he's like, I think I can whoop your ass, drill sergeant. And then he threw him over and broke his arm, you know. Um, I think that was the weakest one, I had to say. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, is there anything else you'd like to say about the movie?
Like at the beginning, motherfucker, don't watch the 2, 3, 4. Don't even waste your time. That's sci-fi channel movies, you
Yeah.
know.
You remember I asked you that beforehand?
No, I just remember I was so disappointed when I watched it because the second one they didn't bring Johnny Rico back, but the third one they did. I was just so disappointed. I would say if you really want to a '90s kid, understand the mind of a '90s kid and think like, I actually thought this was coming in like 50 to 100 years. You know, I
Yeah, yeah,
would
for
say
real.
just yeah, I would say just check it out. You know, it's a good perspective of what we thought the future was going to be. You know,
Yeah.
so
Just look and see how stupid we were.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. 1 through 10, what would you give this movie?
Okay, you got to ask me as a fan, then you got to ask me as a critic. So,
Yeah, you can give it
as a
two different
fan,
scores. Yeah.
yeah, as a fan, I'm gonna have to do a 10. I mean, I could still go back and watch that movie now. You know, I mean, I just some movies you can go back and watch just over and over and over again. I would say as a critic, I would say I would probably give it like a solid 6.5. I can't
Yeah,
lie.
yeah. I'm,
You know,
I'm
like you
with you.
got your babies.
I'm with you too. I'll give it 6.5. Do you believe this movie becomes a part of pop culture?
Um, when the motherfucking bugs attack, people are gonna be looking at it again. I'll tell you that. When them bugs finally get, when you know that blue meteor finally gets from the planet where the bugs are coming from, yeah, I would say it's gonna really hit when the full, because we're getting there, phasing in females into combat arms. When there's full phasing in of combat arms, female and male, like 50-50. I think it's going to be a good review of seeing like how the acting and how they merged and how sex wasn't in it. You
No,
know, like Johnny
nowhere.
Rico, he hooked up with that one chick with the orange hair because she's been wanting to suck him off since high school. But otherwise than that, I think that'll be a good integration of seeing how male and female are in combat arms together.
Oh yeah, yeah. The world's ending, and it was like, all right, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Motherfuckers playing violin with some grain cups and shit. What kind of space shit is that?
Like I said, this movie just has a lot of things that it sticks with you. Like it's definitely it's definitely a feel good like funny movie. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for reviewing it. Is there anything you like to say to your fans?
I would say if you want to see the best '90s CGI besides Godzilla, check this out. And
Nice.
thank y'all, my fans, for seeing Kelby T from the ground up and more to come.
All right, where can they follow you?
Kelby T Comedian on Instagram or Kelby T Comedian on Facebook. Tidy Up on YouTube. I'm getting ready to crank out some yoga classes once or twice a week. Still yoga classes, but still serious.
Okay.
So shout out to that if y'all want to follow that internal journey.
Nice, nice. All right, man. Thank you again for coming on to the movie review. You guys, thank you for listening and have an amazing day.